What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so this is the situation we have right here. We have Tropical Storm Fiona that is still strengthening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are now at 60 miles per hour, although the pressure has gone up. That last pressure at 1,002 was likely a satellite estimate. There are hurricane hunters in the aircraft, in the storm right there, excuse me. So anyway, 60 mile per hour winds, data from Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft. Pressure is 1,006 millibars. Tropical storm force winds still extend 140 miles from the center. So yeah, that's basically what we have right here. And this storm is pretty sheared. Let me actually pull up something for you. This is the visible high res. This is where the center of circulation is right here, and this is where all this massive convection is. This thing is defying convention right now, and that's kind of a heavy thing to say, but let me break it down for you. It was expected to be a 45 mile per hour tropical storm at the time of landfall in the Lesser Antilles. We now have a 60 mile per hour tropical storm out to sea, hundreds of miles away from any land right now, and that makes the wind threat that much more dangerous. So, yeah, as you can see, the center of circulation is pretty much right here, and all that convection's right there. Let me play that all for you. So, yeah, this thing is pretty much sheared like a sheep, as Jim Cantori put on Twitter recently. Although, I'm starting to notice a little bit more convection that's moving slowly towards the center of circulation, but it may take a couple of days for convection to kind of go more towards the western side of that. So, we'll have to continue to pay attention to that. It will be moving into more favorable conditions in the next couple of days after hitting the Lesser Antilles, so we'll have to watch out for that as well. So anyway, we have the 5-day cone for you, but we need to talk about something real quickly, because this was the cone at 2 p.m. Eastern time today, and this is where it was at 5 days. This is where it is now. The angle of turn has shifted a little bit. The 5-day cone shifted about 50 to 60 miles away from more out to sea, and now more towards the Turks and Caicos, ladies and gentlemen. And we also have tropical storm warnings from Puerto Rico all the way down to much of the Leeward Islands right there. The Dominican Republic could see some tropical storm warnings coming in the next day or so. We'll have to continue to pay attention to that. So the global sea temperatures. Likely what's making this thing strengthen, ladies and gentlemen, is this warm water right here. We are entering warm and thick water of 28 plus degrees Celsius, which, if you live in the United States, that's around 83 degrees plus of Fahrenheit right there, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, the wind shear is causing some issues for it, although it's mostly to the north and everything, and this is expected to weaken and turn into a more favorable pattern for this system to move through in the next couple of days. We'll have to continue to pay attention to it here. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the track models and intensity. Track models are still pretty interesting. We still have these models starting to make that turn right there. The H-Wharf is moving it still to the more towards the north, but the H-Mon has completely changed its prediction right here. The H-Mon now has this moving through the Caribbean, south of Puerto Rico, and kind of making a massive jog towards to the northwest, making landfall to the Dominican Republic and crossing through Haiti, and then after that potentially hitting Cuba right there. So that's a massive shift for the H-Mon, but that is just one model, ladies and gentlemen. The GEPS, this is the latest run. It has kind of doubled down on a potential landfall in the United States. This black line has it moving through northern Florida right here. I'm taking that with a grain of salt, considering this is several days out right there. But we do see a few more of the spaghetti plot models of it hitting potentially Florida, potentially the Bahamas right there, and entering the Gulf of Mexico. So something not to kind of sit idly by and watch. So we'll have to continue to keep an eye on it as well. The intensity models are also getting a lot more interesting. We're now seeing a majority of the models of this thing getting as strong as a hurricane right there. With the majority of them, though, have it around 3 to 4 days out. We do have the H-Wharf and NNIC having it happening really fast, but considering how sheared the storm is right now, I don't think it's going to happen exactly like that. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at. I also want to show you one other thing that's kind of reacting to this this GEPS run right here. The European model, which is generally the king of hurricane models, as I've been noticing over the last few years, it's shown a massive interesting shift right here. Now, we're going to show you this real quickly. We're going to go ahead and show this. The European model has this thing making landfall in parts of the Leeward Islands. It has it moving south of Puerto Rico, similar to that of the HMON model, and then making landfall in the Dominican Republic, excuse me, and then moving a little bit through Haiti, and then staying northeast of Cuba right there, and then potentially making landfall in Cuba, and slowly moving, then strengthening in the Bahamas, and potentially is reaching hurricane strength, as 991 millibars is essentially that's hurricane strength right there if you base it off of pressure alone. But that's not what makes a hurricane a hurricane. The winds are what make hurricane a hurricane. But yeah, the European is now indicating a potential Florida landfall 9 days out. Keep in mind this is that far out, so there is plenty of time for this thing to change and all that. But the HMON, as well as the GEPS, and now the European models have started to shift drastically, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a trend we're going to have to continue to watch as time continues to progress. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out. It helps me make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. But with that being said, have a wonderful day. Follow me on Twitter and stay safe.